Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy YBP Gang, YBP Nation, YBP Boxing, YBP MMA. Today I'm coming at y'all with a fight prediction for Misfits, the Prime card, the Zone X Series 10, big influencer boxing card this weekend. We got Logan Paul going up against DANIS in the heavyweight division. I believe it's at 195 catchweight. But first of all, I just want to address, cause I ain't made a video in like 5 days. Like, I've been sick. It's just, I don't know, bro. I couldn't do it. I wasn't feeling it. So, so we're going to be back to the content for sure next week, obviously. I want to talk about, it sucks, bro. My biggest video is probably going to stop getting views, cause, obviously you guys heard the news. Khamzat Chimaev will no longer be fighting Paulo Costa. That's my biggest video. I have like 60K on that. It was probably going to hit to like 20K, so kind of bummed out about that. But I like the new match they came up with, Khamzat versus Usman. But, besides the point, Makhachev, Volkanovski, so we're going to be talking about all those fights, later on. But back to the grind with this one. Logan Paul versus DANIS. Logan, when you see them stand next to each other, like the surprising part is like they're like around the same size. I think Logan maybe like an inch or two taller than him, but standing next to each other, like they're like around the same, around the same size. So like, I think what really separates them though is a lot of people been saying is the athleticism. Logan doing the WWE, you see how he moves in the ring, man. The speed, the quickness, timing on his shots, the power people allegedly say. It's yet to be seen, I think it's kind of imaginary. I don't know, because like in the Floyd fight, we didn't really see it. KSI fight, the way he got that knocked out was kind of suspicious. So, holding down the head and then getting the uppercut, I think anyone could do that, to be fair. He got knocked out himself in that fight. So, but Logan, yeah, it's the power, it's the athleticism. And me personally, I don't rate either of them much as boxers. It's a pretty low-level fight. So then you kind of have to go to those little things, like just who's more athletic, You look at two guys. If you looked at Logan Paul, you looked at Dillon Danis on the street, a lot of people would pick Logan Paul in a boxing match just purely based off just looking at the athleticism, who able to move more, quicker. But I want to go deeper though, I think, and I wouldn't have made this prediction if the cut hadn't happened. I don't know if you guys saw at the press conference, Dillon Danis threw the microphone at Logan Paul's face. It's like a cut. He shows up to the weigh-in with like face mask and all this type of stuff. So the fight's still going on. People are saying it's not as bad as it looked, but there was some bleeding. So something's up. My theory, and like Dillon Danis' path to victory, and I'm picking him, by the way, because honestly, I can't. And if you're a betting man too, go place a bet on Dillon Danis, because I feel like the odds on Logan like a little too high for this being such a low level fight, and Logan not being that good at boxing himself. They're both pretty bad, like, to be honest. But not Dillon Danis' path to victory, I feel like in this fight is Logan gassing out, fighting emotionally, going in there, just trying to get the knockout in the first 2 rounds. Because in my mind, right, if I'm Dillon Danis, I'm trying to go out there and have a Nate Diaz-like performance, Not necessarily get the win, but go out there and just survive decision and land some shots, And then afterwards, you could talk trash all you want, because if it was BJJ, if it was MMA, you got the win. But that was my initial prediction. He's going to have a Nate Diaz-like performance. He's not going to get knocked out. He's going to stay in there. He's going to be tough. And Logan's going to try to get him out of there in the first 2 rounds, and he's going to survive because he has more cardio. I think that's like pretty, like, Dillon Danis is going to have way more cardio. He's not carrying around the same muscle that Logan's carrying around. He's, done the BJJ. They go like, when they do the jiu-jitsu, like, they go like, it's like 1 30-minute round. So you need a bunch of cardio for that, a bunch of muscular endurance that Logan Paul doesn't have. I know he's a wrestler at some point, but that was like in, like, real wrestling. That was like around, like, when he was in high school. Like, that cardio, it's very suspect, carrying around all that muscle, especially if he's trying to go for the kill and fight emotionally. So, where was I going with this? Yeah. So Dillon Danis, his path to victory. Now with that cut, I think he can cause a doctor stoppage. I really do think he can do that, with that cut. Just continue with the jab. He was asking Tommy Fury for some advice on how to throw a jab. That's kind of concerning, but I think, man, if he could just land a couple shots, it'll take some. But if the blood starts leaking into that eye, I'm telling you, man, they're gonna stop the fight. You can't have someone, they can't see out of the eye. The blood's leaking through that area. 6-round fight too. So, I don't know. That's my prediction. I think Dillon Danis, he's gonna pop out the jab, land a couple shots on that eye. It's gonna have to be a couple though. He's gonna weather the storm. He's gonna end up getting a 5th, 6th round. I'll officially say 5th round doctor stoppage TKO. He's gonna land enough shots. He's probably not gonna be winning, but the doctor's gonna have to step in, and just look at the eye, and it'll be like a weird stoppage. Everyone's gonna be like, yo, what? Like, Logan was winning. Nah, man, like, what? It's gonna be a weird stoppage, kind of disappointing, kind of lackluster, but Dillon Danis gets the last laugh. Logan's probably gonna be winning most of this fight. I see a lot of Dillon Danis is gonna be on the back foot. He's gonna have to survive a lot of these exchanges, round 1, 2, 3. But I think, the durability, the stamina is gonna be on Dillon Danis' side. And I think, like I said, Dillon, look at Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. Nate Diaz got knocked down, but the toughness was there. So I don't know if Danis got that, because we really underrate Nate Diaz's boxing. Nate Diaz is actually really good at slipping the shots and just doing enough to get out of the way of shots. That's why it was kind of hard for Jake Paul even though he did knock him down. It was kind of hard for him to do what he did. But I'm thinking of a Kieran Chikadze and Jaron Ennis type performance, where he's just constantly running. Danis, but doing enough, popping out a jab maybe every once in a while. I would see it just run, hug. Just either stay far away or stay close, in any of these stages. Don't be out, in space where, he could kind of catch you with the jab. Type of performance from Danis, and then sprinkle in a little shots of his own. And obviously we have to see how bad the cut is. I'm obviously in the stance that it's a lot worse than it probably is. But yeah, I think he opened up that cut, and we get doctor stoppage in the 5th round on the side of Dillon Danis to get the win, win this whole battle. Honestly, this is a biased pick too, a little bit. I honestly, who doesn't want to see Dillon Danis win? I think he's promoted this whole fight, beautifully with the pictures of Logan Paul's fiance, with the trash talk. Logan's done his thing too, but not to the extent of Dillon Danis. I've seen a lot of people, almost switch sides, and I think a lot of people didn't really like. I wasn't really a fan of Dillon Danis prior to this, but if he really gets in that ring, all respect in the world, man, because no one's picking him, man. Everyone's counting him out. But this is my path to victory for Dillon Danis, really, So I'm going to pick him. I want to see it happen. I'd love to see it happen. I usually don't make emotional picks, but, this is just a fun little video. I don't... gun to my head, who wins? You got to go with, I'm not going to say that, but, it's an uphill battle for Dillon Danis. I'm not going to pretend he's the favorite in this matchup or anything, but there is a path to victory. Don't count him out. There's something to be said about, his BJJ and his stamina and, having, training with guys like Alex Pereira. I seen him strike a little bit. I see this one clip where he was doing some fun sparring. It looked like he was striking like Pereira. So, there's something to be said about that. He doesn't have a coach, but, something to be said about, training with the likes of, those type of guys. So, and getting that work and the stamina he's going to have going into this matchup. So, like I said, man, don't count out Dillon Danis. Should be a really good fight. But, most of all, I want to forget the fight. I want to see the aftermath. A lot of this stuff. So, just what happens after, But, that's all I really got for y'all today. Longer video. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe. Peace out, Moscow. You know what it is. Boo!